Welcome to our channel. Today, we're uncovering some super rare American Lincoln Memorial pennies, coins that look familiar but hold surprising value and unique stories. These pennies have intrigued collectors for decades. Stick around as we reveal what makes these pennies truly special. Ever found a penny in your pocket and wondered if it might be worth more than just 1 cent? Most of us don't give much thought to the coins we use every day. They're small, common, and usually only worth their face value. But sometimes, an ordinary-looking coin can turn out to be something quite special, a rare piece with an interesting story behind it. Today, we're starting with one of those coins, the 1983 D Lincoln cent. At first glance, the 1983 D penny looks like any other penny you've handled. It features Abraham Lincoln's profile on the front, facing right, with the familiar Lincoln Memorial on the back. Just below the date, there's a small D mint mark, indicating that it was produced at the Denver Mint. In 1983, the United States Mint was producing pennies by the billions. More than 6.4 billion pennies were struck in Denver that year alone. While the design remained the same as in previous years, the metal composition had recently changed, and this is where the story gets interesting. In 1982, the Mint had switched the penny's composition from the traditional bronze, which was mostly copper, to a new core made primarily of zinc, coated with a thin layer of copper. This change was a cost-saving measure due to rising copper prices. The older bronze pennies weighed about 3.11 grams, but the new copper-plated zinc pennies weighed closer to 2.5 grams. Despite the change in metal, the coins looked nearly identical. Now, here's the twist: all 1983 D pennies were supposed to be made with the new zinc core. But in rare cases, some pennies were accidentally struck on leftover bronze planchets, the blanks that had been used before the composition change. Coins produced during this kind of transition are called transitional errors. They happen when leftover materials from an earlier production phase are mixed in with the new process. These transitional error pennies are very rare, but they look almost exactly like regular pennies. The only way to distinguish them is by their weight. If you weigh a typical 1983 D penny, it should be around 2.5 grams. But if you find one weighing approximately 3.1 grams, that's a strong indicator you have a bronze transitional error. Because these coins look so ordinary, many have gone unnoticed over the years. They pass through countless hands, used just like any other penny, without anyone suspecting their true value. Only a small number of these transitional 1983 D bronze pennies have been discovered and authenticated. Collectors who specialize in mint errors sometimes sift through thousands of coins, weighing them carefully, hoping to find one of these rare pieces. Once found, the coin is typically sent to a professional grading service for authentication and preservation. Graded examples are especially valuable because collectors trust that the coin has been thoroughly examined and verified. This adds credibility and makes the coin more attractive to buyers. The 1983 D penny transitional error is a perfect example of how the smallest details can create a significant difference. It's not an old coin by most standards. It doesn't have a unique design or a famous error like doubling or missing elements. Instead, its rarity comes from a small mix-up during production, combined with a change in metal composition. That rarity is what makes this coin so sought after. It's a glimpse into a unique moment in the mint's history and a reminder that errors can happen even in large-scale production runs. So, if you collect coins or just occasionally check your change, it's worth paying attention to the pennies from this time period. A simple scale and careful observation can help identify something unusual. To sum up, the 1983 D Lincoln cent is generally an ordinary penny, but a few rare examples were struck on bronze planchets left over from before the metal change. These transitional error coins are visually indistinguishable from the normal pennies but are heavier due to their bronze composition. They're very rare, and their discovery can be quite exciting for collectors. And now, the value of this coin, when authenticated and graded, it recently sold for $74,000. That kind of value shows just how much collectors are willing to pay for something rare and unique, even when it's just a simple penny. It's a reminder that sometimes, the smallest items can hold the greatest surprises. Coins like this are more than just currency, they're pieces of history that tell a story about the moment they were made. If you're ever sorting through your own coins, it's worth paying attention to details like weight and metal composition. Even pennies that look ordinary can hide something special. You don't need to be a professional to spot these differences, just a careful eye and a good scale. Finding a coin like this can be exciting, but it's important to get it properly authenticated by a reputable grading service before assuming it's valuable. That way, you know for sure what you have and can protect your investment. Collectors prize these transitional errors because they represent a very narrow window in time, capturing a unique moment when the mint was changing its processes. It's fascinating how a small error like this can turn an everyday coin into a rare collectible. So next time you're handling your pennies, take a moment to think about their history. Among the billions out there, you might just find a hidden treasure. Next up, let's take a closer look at a coin that might easily be overlooked but holds a remarkable place in the world of coin collecting, the 1990 Lincoln cent. To most people, it looks like just another penny. But for collectors and enthusiasts, this coin tells an intriguing story about minting errors, rarity, and value. The 1990 penny was struck at the Denver Mint, as shown by the small d beneath the date on the front. By this time, the penny had undergone a significant change from its earlier years. Since 1982, pennies were no longer made primarily from copper, instead, they featured a zinc core covered by a thin layer of copper plating. This shift was driven largely by the rising cost of copper, which made the older bronze pennies more expensive to produce. Although the change in metal composition altered the coin's weight and internal structure, the design remained consistent. Abraham Lincoln's profile still graced the obverse, and the reverse displayed the Lincoln Memorial. For everyday use, these pennies served as simple currency, with millions produced each year. The 1990 minting alone accounted for hundreds of millions of pennies. Yet, hidden among these billions of coins, a very small percentage bear a rare minting error that has captured the attention of collectors worldwide, the double die error. This error occurs during the minting process when the dies, which are the metal stamps used to imprint the design onto the coin blanks, do not line up properly. When this happens, parts of the design are struck twice in slightly different positions. The result is a coin with a distinct doubling effect on certain design elements, most commonly the date or the word "Liberty" on the front of the coin. Under close inspection and magnification, the doubling looks like a shadow or a second outline just off from the original design. What makes the 1990 double die penny especially notable is its rarity. The U.S. Mint recognized the error early in production and quickly corrected it, so only a small number of these error coins made it into circulation. This scarcity has made the coin highly desirable among collectors who specialize in mint errors. Finding one of these coins isn't straightforward. The doubling isn't always visible to the naked eye and can sometimes be subtle, requiring a magnifying glass or loupe to detect. Many coin enthusiasts dedicate time and effort to searching through rolls and batches of pennies in hopes of finding this elusive error. If you believe you found a 1990 penny with this double die characteristic, the next step is to have it authenticated by a professional grading service. These experts examine the coin carefully, verify the error, assess its condition, and assign a grade that reflects its quality. Authentication and grading are crucial because they establish the coin's legitimacy and help determine its value in the market. Collectors prize coins with clear, well-defined doubling and high grades because these factors significantly increase the coin's desirability and price. On the other hand, coins with less distinct doubling or signs of wear typically command lower prices. The market for error coins like the 1990 double die penny is quite active. Collectors and investors see them as unique pieces that offer a fascinating glimpse into minting history and the quirks of mass production. Unlike many collectibles that rely solely on age or rarity, error coins also highlight the human element in coin manufacturing, where small mistakes can become prized anomalies. This coin story also emphasizes how modern coins, not just antiques or rare old pieces, can have significant value. For many years, the focus in coin collecting was on very old or precious metal coins. But today, error coins like the 1990 double die penny prove that even relatively recent coins can be worth substantial sums. when authenticated and graded in excellent condition, this particular penny has a value of $66,000. That value really shows just how much collectors are willing to pay for these rare mint errors. It's fascinating to think that a small variation during the minting process can turn an everyday penny into a highly valuable collectible. Most people wouldn't give a second glance to a penny, but this coin is proof that the smallest details can make a huge difference. If you ever find a coin that looks unusual or shows signs of doubling, it's definitely worth having it examined by a professional. Authentication and grading not only confirm its legitimacy but also help protect your investment if you decide to sell or trade it in the future. Collecting error coins is about more than just money, it's about preserving a moment in history, appreciating the craftsmanship, and enjoying the thrill of discovery. Every coin has a story, and these rare pennies remind us that even mistakes can become treasures. Of course, not every penny will be this valuable, but taking a moment to inspect your change can sometimes lead to surprising finds. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just starting out, paying attention to these small details can open up a whole new world of interest. So, keep your eyes open and your magnifying glass handy. You never know what hidden gems might be waiting in your own coin collection or loose change. Let's explore a coin that many might consider ordinary but is truly remarkable in the world of collectors, the 2006 D Lincoln cent. At first glance, this penny looks like any other circulating coin. It features the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the front, a design that has endured for over a century, and the Lincoln Memorial on the back, a symbol of unity and national pride. The D Mint mark under the date indicates that it was struck at the Denver Mint, one of the United States' primary coin production facilities. In 2006, pennies were made with a zinc core coated with copper, a change introduced in the early 1980s to keep production costs manageable as the price of copper rose. This composition change altered the penny's weight and internal structure, but its outward appearance remained consistent with earlier designs. Every day, millions of these pennies were produced and used, slipping unnoticed through cash registers, jars, and pockets across the country. Yet, within these millions of coins, a small number stand apart, pennies with a special minting anomaly known as the double die error. During the minting process, designs are engraved on metal dies, which stamp the images onto blank coin planchets. If the die shifts slightly during this engraving, the design is doubled. This doubling is then transferred to the coins produced with that die, creating a distinct visual effect where parts of the design, like the date or letters, appear doubled or shadowed. On the 2006 D Lincoln cent, this doubling is most often seen on the date and the word Liberty. At a glance, the coin looks ordinary, but under magnification, the doubling becomes clear, almost like a ghosted outline just offset from the main lettering. This error is not a flaw in the coin's metal or wear, but a unique minting signature that makes the coin both fascinating and valuable. Such minting errors are generally rare because the mint actively monitors production quality and corrects mistakes quickly. Only a small batch of these double die coins made it into circulation before the problem was identified and fixed. This scarcity adds to the coin's appeal, as collectors treasure coins that capture these unusual moments of production. Finding one of these error coins is not an easy task. Many collectors spend hours sorting through rolls of pennies with magnifying glasses or loupes, looking for any sign of the characteristic doubling. It's a careful, patient process, and when a true double die penny is found, it's often a thrilling moment. Beyond the visual curiosity, owning a 2006 D double die penny means holding a piece of minting history. It connects collectors to the complex process of mass-producing coins, where even the most precise machinery can occasionally produce unexpected results. This small anomaly reminds us that every coin has a story, sometimes, a surprising one. Collectors who specialize in error coins highly value such finds. The rarity, combined with the distinct appearance of the doubling, makes the 2006 D double die penny a sought-after addition to collections around the world. However, not all double die pennies are equally valuable. The condition of the coin plays a crucial role. Coins are graded on a scale from poor to mint state, which measures their wear and overall quality. A double die penny in mint or near mint condition will command a much higher price than one that is heavily worn or damaged. That's why professional authentication and grading services are so important. They verify the coin's authenticity and provide an unbiased assessment of its condition. For those interested in investing or collecting, having a coin professionally graded can increase its value and make it easier to buy, sell, or trade. Graded coins come with certificates and protective holders, giving buyers confidence in what they are purchasing. While many people focus on older coins when thinking of valuable collectibles, the 2006 double die penny demonstrates that even modern coins can be highly prized. It shows that age isn't the only factor in determining a coin's worth. Rarity, uniqueness, and condition are just as important. This penny story also highlights how the minting process is both an art and a science. Despite technological advances, human oversight and mechanical tolerances can lead to fascinating errors. These coins allow collectors to appreciate the craftsmanship and complexity behind everyday money. If you're a coin collector or just curious, the 2006 double die penny is a reminder to always look a little closer at the coins you handle. What seems ordinary may hold unexpected value and history. Now, after exploring the details and significance of this coin, it's time for the value reveal. When properly authenticated and graded in excellent condition, the 2006 double die penny has a value of $39,000. That value truly highlights the significance of this rare minting era. It's a reminder that sometimes, even the most common coins can hold extraordinary worth. While most pennies are simply everyday currency, a few carry unique stories and substantial collector interest that if you happen to come across a penny that looks different or shows signs of doubling, it's always worth having it examined by a professional. Proper authentication and grading can confirm its rarity and help protect its value. Collecting era coins is not just about potential financial gain, it's about preserving a piece of minting history and appreciating the unexpected details that make each coin unique. So, keep your eyes open and your magnifying glass handy. You never know when you might find a hidden gem in your own collection or even in your pocket change. Let's talk about a coin that might seem ordinary but has caught the attention of collectors for its rarity, the 2018 Lincoln cent. At first glance, this penny looks like any other that you might find in your pocket or wallet. It features the familiar profile of Abraham Lincoln on the front, a design that has been a staple since 1909. The D mint mark beneath the date tells us it was minted in Denver, one of the primary mints in the United States. The 2018 penny continues the long tradition of the Lincoln cents design, showcasing Lincoln's portrait on the obverse and the Union shield on the reverse. This shield design was introduced in 2010, replacing the Lincoln Memorial on the back of the coin. The Union shield symbolizes the strength and unity of the United States, with 13 vertical stripes representing the original colonies bound together by a horizontal bar inscribed with E pluribus unum, meaning, out of many, one. It's a powerful image, reflecting both history and national pride. The coin's composition is the same as many modern pennies, primarily zinc with a thin copper coating, a change made in the early 1980s to reduce production costs. Though the change in metal content affected the coin's weight and feel, the appearance remained consistent, making the 2018 penny visually similar to those struck decades earlier. Each year, billions of pennies like this one are minted and released into circulation, passing through countless hands, wallets, and cash registers across the country. To the average person, they're just small change. But for collectors, some pennies hold stories far beyond their face value. Among these 2018 pennies, a rare minting error known as the double die stands out. This error occurs during the production process when the die, the metal stamp used to imprint the coin's design, shifts slightly between impressions. This results in a doubling effect on the coin's design, often seen on the date or lettering. On the 2018 penny, the doubling is most commonly noticed around the date and the word Liberty. At first glance, this might be dismissed as normal wear or a minor imperfection. However, under magnification, the doubled lines become clear and distinct, almost like a shadow offset slightly from the original letters and numbers. This subtle but unmistakable doubling is what makes the coin so special. Minting errors like this are generally rare because the U.S. Mint has stringent quality control measures in place. When errors occur, they're typically caught and corrected quickly. That means only a small number of double-die pennies made it out into circulation before the die was fixed, making these coins particularly scarce. For collectors, scarcity combined with uniqueness creates significant appeal. Error coins are not only fascinating anomalies, they also represent a snapshot of the minting process where precision machinery and human oversight sometimes produce unexpected results. This transforms a seemingly ordinary coin into a tangible piece of minting history. Finding a 2018 D double-die penny is no easy feat. Many collectors invest significant time carefully inspecting rolls of pennies, often using magnifying tools to look for the telltale signs of doubling. Even small variations in the doubling's prominence can make a considerable difference in a coin's value and collectability. Once a potential double-die penny is discovered, it's essential to have it professionally authenticated. Grading services will confirm the coin's authenticity, assess its condition, and provide an official grade. This certification not only verifies the coin's uniqueness but also helps protect and establish its value on the market. The grading process evaluates factors such as surface condition, luster, and any signs of wear or damage. Coins that show strong doubling and remain in excellent, near-mint condition are highly prized. Conversely, coins with less obvious doubling or heavy wear tend to be valued lower. The 2018 D double-die penny also reflects a broader trend in modern coin collecting. While older, rare coins have traditionally drawn the most interest, many collectors now seek out contemporary minting errors. These coins combine historical intrigue with rarity and visual appeal, making them exciting and accessible additions to any collection. What's particularly interesting about this coin is how it challenges the common idea that older coins are always more valuable. Even pennies minted within the last decade can become prized collectibles if they feature rare errors and remain in good condition. It encourages both collectors and casual coin handlers to pay close attention to the coins they come across every day. If you happen to find a penny that looks unusual or displays signs of doubling, it's worth having it examined by a professional. Authentication and grading can provide clarity and help you understand the coin's true potential. This process is especially important if you're considering adding it to a collection or holding it as an investment. Collecting error coins isn't solely about financial value. It's about preserving unique pieces of minting history and appreciating the craftsmanship behind the coins we use daily. Each error coin tells a story, a moment where machinery, metal, and human oversight combine to create something unplanned yet fascinating. Keeping your eyes open and having basic magnifying tools at hand can make all the difference. Whether you're an experienced collector or someone just curious about coins, you might be surprised by what you discover in your own change. That brings us to the end of today's video and our look at some of the most interesting pennies. Thanks for joining me as we explored these coins with unique stories and collector appeal. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more fascinating coin discoveries in the future.